It is the 41st millennium. Mankind battles for survival across the universe, besieged on all fronts by the heretic, the mutant, and the alien. In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. One faction of Space Marines stands amidst the chaos, the mightiest of the Emperor's warriors, and a beacon of light in the darkness. This legion, the 9th Legion of Adeptus Astartes, the Blood Angels.
Good evening. Hello. How's everybody? Happy Halloween. Nice to see you all. I mean, I can't really see you all because these eyes just suck for seeing, and they steam up in like 2 seconds flat. But hey, I feel like if I peer at the screen, I might be able to see somebody. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Halloween. I mean, it's Tuesday, right? I won't really stream on Tuesdays though. Good evening. I gotta get a costume to go out with my two. She's not two anymore. She's three now. Now I have to remember where the hell I put my glasses. Oh, they're on my neck. There we go. Good evening. Good evening. I tell you, the first time I put that mask on, scared the shit out of my 1-year-old. Hey, there we go. It only took me a minute to demonetize the stream. Good evening. Hello, everybody. YouTube are demonetizing for like a single swear word, so all my streams are demonetized now. I don't know if you've noticed, YouTube have put so many ads on every single video as well now. It's ridiculous. Good evening, everybody. Hi, Nick. Hi, Miles. Hi, Fox. Hey, John. Ardeen, Valorin. Alexander, good evening. I got 4 lists to look over. Submitted by the community this week. So I guess we'll start. And any questions or anyone wants to say anything, we'll try and answer questions in the chat, as we always do on a Sunday night. This week on Wednesday, I'm playing against Miles. Haven't decided what detachment I'm going to run, honestly. Part of me is really tempted to run that new Spearhead detachment because I think there's a few stratagems in that detachment that are borderline broken. So we'll see. We'll see. Cool. How is an honest Scotsman to make a living on YouTube with these kinds of limitations? It's a good question, actually. I mean, I've been watching YouTube for years. I want to say this weekend has been the most obnoxious I've ever had for adverts. Like, just so many adverts inside every video now, and so many of them are like a minute long. None of the like 5 seconds you could skip them. It's now just like everything's like a minute. It's ridiculous. But anyway, that's what YouTube are doing these days. So that was like the first time I saw my mum with no glasses. What, with me with no glasses? You never see me with no glasses? I was going to say, I can't see you with no glasses. How about that? Yeah. Cool. Alright, let's have a look at this first list for tonight. The first list is by Zywin Fist 441. And it's a Gladius list. A captain, I was going to say, with the Vanguard Veterans and the Priest, Lamartas with the Death Company, and Jump Intercessors for cheap objective grabbing. I mean, that's why I painted my Jump Intercessors the last couple of days. To maybe try them out and see if they are good at cheap objective grabbing. Rosario, good evening. Jim, hello, how you doing? So we've got the captain with a jump back. He has a plasma pistol and a power fist, and he's got the honor vehement, giving him +1 attack, +1 strength, and assault doctrine it's +2 attacks, +2 strength. We've got Lamartas with the Crozius. We've got a Sanguinary Priest who with the jump pack, and then we've got a Tech Marine. I guess this is technically the Primaris Tech Marine now. There is no regular Tech Marine anymore, so this is just the Primaris variant. Forge Bolter, which I actually kind of like. Grav Pistol, Power Axe, and Servo Arm. He's lost the ability to shoot both the pistol and the Forge Bolter. He used to be able to do both. you can't do that anymore. Is that right? Yeah, I'm sure it is. You can't shoot both the pistol and the forge bolter anymore. So slight nerf to Tetmarine, I guess. We got assault intercessors with jump packs for 85 points. Chain swords, heavy bolt pistols, plasma pistols, power fist. I think that's probably how I would run them. You get 2 plasma pistols in a squad of 5 guys. It's fine. We got second squad, identical loadout. We have 2 ballistas dreadnoughts. There's no options on their loadouts. Feet, las cannons, missile launchers. Death Company Marines with jump packs. We've got 10 of them. 2 infernal pistols, 2 power weapons, 8 thunderhammers. I mean, I guess maybe that's the loadout he's got. They'd be with Lamartes. I assume you'd probably be better if you had 10 infernal pistols and 10 power fists. But I guess this is maybe the loadout that he's got. I guess thunderhammers aren't too bad. We've got a 6-man squad of Inceptors. I'm not sure 6-man plasma Inceptors. I was going to say, I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of 6-man Inceptors. I'm going to try 3-man this week. I think 3-man's pretty cool with the bolters. But yeah, I mean, maybe plasma weaponry is good. I'm not entirely sure. We've got a squad of infiltrators. Obviously, they do the deep strike denial thing. We've got Librarian Dreadnought. We've got Vanguard veterans with jump packs. They're all 10 storm shields and all have, I guess, the heirloom weapon. We've got Whirlwind, and then we've got the Calidus Assassin with the Neuro Shredder and the Phase Sword and Poison Blades. And this is indeed a Gladius list. Henry says, your stream overlay is a little off. Thanks, Henry. I do appreciate that. I hadn't noticed. Much appreciated. I still have Tetmarines. They actually have shooting and melee. Yeah, I mean, Tetmarines are not too bad. They still have a 2-up save as well. One of the few Space Marine units that has a 2-up save, I guess. Or infantry units that has a 2-up save, bar maybe like Centurions. Okay, so this is a Gladius list, but it's got, what, 30 jump pack guys? We've got a 10 Death Company. We've got a 10... I guess if you include the Inceptors as well, it's 36 jump pack guys. So 10 Vanguard veterans, 10 assault jump intercessors, and 10 Vanguard veterans. The Whirlwind, the Librarian Dreadnought, 2 Ballistas Dreadnoughts. I feel like it's maybe not enough shooting to take full advantage of Gladius, honestly. 2 Ballistas Dreadnoughts is fine. Plasma Inceptors is fine. The Whirlwind, I guess, is fine. But, I mean, I think if you've got 30 jump troops, then I might actually be tempted to say that you'd be better off going the Sons of Sanguinius detachment. I was going to say, what synergizes with Gladius here that really that stands out to you people in the chat? Because the strength of Gladius for me is like you can have a lot of vehicles, you can get advance and shoot, and then you can fall back and shoot as well whenever you need it. And I was going to say, Captain Vanguard Veterans. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to do 10-man Vanguard Veterans and 10 Death Company with Thunderhammers, I really do think that you might be better in the Sons of Sanguinius detachments here. Aside from the Dreadnoughts, I can't see anything that would need to advance and shoot. Yeah, and I don't particularly feel like Ballistas Dreadnoughts need advance and shoot, because Ballistas Dreadnoughts, I was going to say, I better not say this wrong because I've been playing them in a bunch of games. I feel like both their las cannons and their missile launchers are 36 inches. So I feel like a Ballistas Dreadnought should not really need advance and shoot, right? Because 36 inches is kind of good enough. Okay, wow. Okay, yeah, so cool. Ballistas Dreadnought's 48 inches. I was wrong there. I'd assumed that... I don't know why I'd assumed they were 36. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's a missile launcher and a las cannon. Those things normally have 48 inches. So with an 8-inch move and a 48 inch on the two main guns on the ballistic dreadnoughts, I feel like they really don't need advance and shoot. Or Devastator Doctrine, so to speak. I mean, fallback and shoot is nice on them, but fallback and shoot is maybe not needed when you've got so many other jump units. And I feel like your assault intercessors with jump packs, they're going to get a much bigger bonus from the Sons of Sanguinius detachment. And yeah, to me this feels like more like a Sons list, honestly. He didn't really give me any questions on what he could do to make this list stronger, or what he wanted to do to make this list stronger. I like the Infiltrators. I like the Librarian Dreadnought. I think Librarian Dreadnought synergies well with durable units, and maybe you've only got that one Inceptor squad that's arguably durable. I guess you could ping a few other units around the map, but 9-inch charges are very unreliable. I think this would be a difficult list to play in Gladius. I don't know if you have enough damage output in Gladius. Ethan says, I'd say Advance and Charge is good for this, and Gladius has some good melee stratagems, although not as good as Suns. Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. Maybe the reason to take it is to use Assault Doctrine much early and get Advance and Charge maybe in turn 2 or something like that. Miguel's asking about a deep fried Mars bar. If you're gonna send me a deep fried Mars bar to my house, I'll eat it. Yeah, no problem. I like deep fried Mars bar. I've not had one in maybe like a decade, but I do like them. Yeah, there's not a lot of anti-tank in this list. It's a very jump focused list. I mean, if it was me, I'd probably look to drop 5 or 10 jump units and add another tank, and then maybe take my Inceptor squad in half its size and add something else like Blade Guard or something durable, heavy intercessors or something that can sit on objectives. I'm not entirely sure the strength of everything we have here. But yeah. Interesting list to see to begin with. John says, don't do it. Last time I had one, it killed my stomach. I feel like I'd been gut punched. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty heavy. They can be pretty heavy. But chip shop food can be pretty heavy anyway. They use so much oil to cook that food. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I think I would lose 5. If you want to stay in Gladius, I think I would lose... yeah, if you want to stay in Gladius, I don't know if I like Vanguard Veterans plus the Priest is 300 points, plus the Captain is 400 points. I don't think that squad for 4, because I've run that squad, 10 Vanguard Veterans with Storm Shields, the Priest and the Captain. I'm not sure I feel like for 400 points it does enough damage. Like, I really, like, it's... In Gladius it will be like Strength 7? No, Strength 6? Because the Captain's giving you +1 strength, so it's Strength 6. I guess you can get a free +1 to wound. So realistically, you're wounding on 5s or 4s into tough enemies. How many attacks do you get per guy? Vanguard Vets. You're getting 4 attacks per guy. So you're getting 40 attacks. You're hitting on 3s, so you're making somewhere like 26 hits. You're winning on 4s, so the opponent needs to make like 14 saves at -2, so you're paying 400 points to do like 7 damage into anything that's higher than toughness 7. Yeah. So anything that's higher than toughness 7, you're paying 400 points to do 7 damage. I mean, so for 400 points, I could take 2 Vindicators. They'll do a hell of a lot more than 7 damage to something that's toughness 7 above. 2 Vindicators is going to be an average of like, what? 10 plus shots, strength 14 minus 3 d6 damage. So, I mean, I think 2 Vindicator tanks would do way more damage. Arguably, they're more survivable as well. And they probably have a similar OC. So, Yeah, I don't really rate Vanguards. Yes, they have lethal hits, but I don't think it's good enough for 400 points. I really don't. Okay. Next up, Capperjack 6506. He is running Blood Angel Sons of Sanguinius. Alright, so we got the Sons of Sanguinius list this time. We have the Sanguinar as his epic hero. We have a captain with a jump pack with a thunder hammer and a relic shield with and a chaplain with a jump pack with the Crozius and the Power Fist. Sanguinary priest with the jump pack. And for infantry, we have two. No, we don't. We've got assault intercessors with jump pack. We've got centurions with drills and flamers and bolters. One guy has the launchers in case you need grenades. We have the Death Company with 5 plasma pistols, 5 power fists. We have 6 eradicators, 2 multi-meltas, 4 melta rifles. We have 5 infiltrator squad. Sorry, a 5-man infiltrator squad. We then have the 10-man veteran, the exact same jump pack squad that we just saw. In this list, it's a tiny bit better because it's 1 more strength and it's 1 more attack. So realistically, it's probably going to be able to do more than 7 damage, maybe 10 damage, but still 400 points for 10 damage, and they have to be in melee. Pretty big risk. Then we have the Ballistus Dread, the Death Company Dreadnought, which I really like in the Blood Angels attachment, the Land Raider Redeemer, which I think is really good as well, because the Overwatch, and the Librarian Dreadnought, which is good because teleporting and overwatching and all that kind of stuff. I was going to say, this is... So, let me... He wrote me some stuff. I'm curious, I'm currently running 2000 Blood Angels, Sons of Sanguinius, and would like your opinion. The captain with the jump pack and the priest are attached to the Vanguard veterans with jump pack. They go into deep strike, and then they'll be rapid ingress. I guess rapid ingress is probably the best way to bring them onto the board to try and guarantee a charge. The chaplain is attached to the Death Company, of course, because he has to be to give them some OC and stuff. The plan is to put the Sanguinar of the Vanguards with jump pack into deep strike, and the Death Company Dreadnought and Strategic Reserves, while the Centurion Assault Squad will go inside the Land Raider. I mean, Centurions inside some sort of transport are pretty cool at the moment. They do a ton of damage. Centurions are like our only unit that still get 3 damage in melee. Turn 1, the Librarian Dreadnought teleports the 5-man Eradicator Squad somewhere in the backfield. Why would it be 5-man Eradicators? It's got to be 6, right? Yeah, I think he just typoed. So it'll be a 6-man Eradicator squad somewhere in their backfield to try and blow up the vehicle, but the outcome doesn't matter. The fact is, toughness 6, 3 wound Space Marines are back there, and they're able to put a lot of pressure on their vehicles, and monsters pull a lot of focus. So I kind of disagree with this, just because Eradicators do not have weight of fire anymore. And they also only wound vehicles on 5s. So, statistically, Eradicators really don't do that much damage. Especially when he said into vehicles. So you've got 2 multi-meltas, you got 4 melta rifles. So essentially what you have is 8 shots. 4 of them hitting on 3s. And 4 of them hitting on 4s. So from the 4 shots that are hitting on 4s, bear in mind you can reroll all hits. You get 3 hits. And then from the 4s that are hitting on 3s, you get... So statistically, you have 6.112 hits. That's statistically what you get because they can reroll their hit rolls, right? If you go into any vehicle, toughness 10 or higher, fair enough, if you're shooting toughness 9 vehicles, I'm fine with it. If you're shooting toughness 10 vehicles, you only wound 55% of the time because you wound on 5s and you re-roll. So you only make 3.36 wounds into vehicles. Now, I suppose if you go after a vehicle that has no armor save, statistically you would do this 3.36 times 3.5. So if you go into a vehicle that has no armor save, no invulnerable save, as in the -4 just goes straight through, yes, you do 11 wounds, right? If you go into a vehicle that has a 5-up invuln, then you would have to times this by 0.66, and then times it by 3.5. So if you go into a 5-up invuln vehicle, you only do 7 wounds. And if you go into a 4-up vehicle, and this is saying you reroll everything, right? You only do 5 wounds. So I think Eradicators are really swingy. So it's a cool idea to teleport them behind the enemy line first turn and try and put pressure on. Just, I think statistically, there's a lot of things they'll bounce off of. This is why Eradicators are probably really good in that Firestorm detachment, because it pushes them to Strength 10, and then if you're going after Toughness 10 or something, your wound roll becomes that much more reliable. You can reroll the damage too, yeah, so I don't know statistically what the damage roll is rerolled, actually. Because it's not like you're trying to reroll over a specific number of brewing biscuits, right? I guess, I don't know, 190 points plus 170 points for the Librarian Dreadnought, so you're investing like 350 points to do this. And then it's going to be very swingy, because you're assuming that you roll really good for damage. You could roll a 1-1 and a 2 and re-roll it into a 2-2 and a 3, and you just lost all your Eradicators and do nothing. You're forgetting the Melta 2. I'm not forgetting Melta 2 anymore, Henry, because they changed the range on multi-Meltas and Eradicators, so it's impossible now to get them within half range when you teleport them. This is probably why I don't like them. Back last edition, when you could always get them within half range and get the Melta 2, they were really, really good. And if you gave them a heavy gun as well, they were Melta 4. But yeah, it's weird that they changed these guys to 18 inches so you can't get the Melta rule. But they left Armigers with like Melta 4 and like a 30 inch. So if you put Armigers into Strategic Reserve, I don't know why they did that, but if you put Armigers into Strategic Reserve, they're crazy. They get like Melta 4 on 30 inches. Warglavies is the one with the Melta, isn't it? So the Armiger, oh no, the Armiger's still got, the Armiger lost 6 inches of range as well, but you'll be able to Strategic Reserve that within half to get the Melta 4. So Armigers in reserve are really interesting, because Melta 4 is kind of massive. And actually, for some reason, the Armiger's Melta gun has got to go to Strength 12, whereas all the Space Marine Melta went to Strength 9, like this Melta gun. Yeah, so, I mean, Eradicators for me are they feel risky now, right? The Land Raider also rides up turn 1, 12 inches, disembarks Centurion within 3 inches to then charge an Oath monster vehicle. I mean, I guess I hadn't really considered that you could do a turn 1 charge with Centurions using Oath. Yeah, I mean, I guess with Assault Ramp, yeah, you could get 15 inches forward turn 1. They would get fire support on the charge and shouldn't be too long depending on positioning. From there on, it's the Death Company fly around, taking out elite units. I don't know if the Death Company take out elite units anymore, honestly. Not 5. Not 5 of the Chaplain, because I've been running 5 of the Chaplain, and they've been struggling to do enough damage. This is a Suns list, so they do get more attacks, because in Gladius, Death Company actually kind of suck, because you just don't get enough attacks with the Death Company, honestly. Like, Death Company and Gladius only get like 3 attacks per guy. I guess in Suns they would get 4. I think it's a big increase actually, like 33% more attacks on those power with fists. Yeah. Yeah. Did anyone notice the obvious mistake with this data sheet, right? Look at this. Chain swords, 4 attacks, strength 4, -1, 1 damage. Power weapon, 4 attacks, strength 5, -2, 1 damage. Why the hell would you take chain swords? Why do chain swords not have an additional attack here? This is really dumb. Who wrote this rule? Who didn't proofread this rule? I'm not bitter, honest. They would get firing support. It shouldn't be too long a charge. From there, it's up to the Death Company to fly and take out elites. Yeah, Death Company Dreadnought and Ballistas to kill big vehicles and monsters for shooting off infantry. The Van Vets are just an all-around table threat, able to play Red Rampage for free when they charge. You get 50 attacks, +1 to wound, lethal hit, strength 7, -2, 1 damage. And if anything that survives, that is available. Yeah, you get 50 attacks. I guess if you oath them, they're pretty good. If you don't oath, yeah, I suppose the 10 extra attacks and the 1 extra strength from the Sun's detachment makes that seem like a lot stronger. Yeah, I don't think I would run Vanguard Vets and Gladius. I think it's probably okay to run them in Sons of Sanguinius. They only take a Desperate Escape Temp to fall back from Icon of the Angel. Yeah, I mean, they only need to take the Desperate Escape Temp if they're infantry. Icon of the Angel doesn't do anything for monsters and vehicles, and I think you're going to be wanting to kill monsters and vehicles with that 10-man squad. The threat of the Sanguiner coming out of reserve with Fight First also helps dissuade the opponent of charging me. For secondaries, I have the Assault Intercessors, Jump Packs, Infiltrators, Librarian Dread, teleport them around if I really need it. Curious about your thoughts. Okay. What would you say is the best knight unit to put in a knight list? Sorry if it's been asked many times. I just got here. I assume Armigers because they're the best unit. Armigers are super cost effective, right? And I think if you ever play knights, you'll know that the little knights always tend to win the game. So you're going to want you probably want like 8 or 9 Armigers. You could probably go like 3 Helverns, 6 Warglavies, or something like that, and then like 1 big knight that'll buff the little knights. Like, I think you can possibly run 2 big knights, but I think knight when you play against knights, the game's always won or lost by the Armigers. It's never won by the big knights. It's because the Armigers are everywhere, taking objectives, doing secondaries, scoring points, killing units. So, how do you submit a list? Says Blood Buffalo. Put it in the comments after this stream ends, or on any of my other videos. Blood Buffalo, just export your list from Battlescribe like this, throw it into one of the comments. It'll be too long for you to just put into chat right now. I think chat's limited to 200 characters or something. You'll be able to put it in a comment though, and I'll pick it up and get it next week. The threat, oh yeah, he said, so the threat of the Sanguiner coming out does that. Yeah, so Eradicators, like I said, I'm not really a fan of them. I'm more of a fan of this Vanguard Veteran Squad in the Suns detachment, but if the Vanguard Veteran Squad can't get a good rapid ingress, then it's a little bit scary. Like, 400 points for the squad is actually kind of insane. I like the Centurions and the Land Raider. I like the Death Company Dreadnought in reserve. I like the Ballistas Dreadnought. I just don't know if one of them on their own is enough firepower. I'd honestly probably... I guess if you use the Eradicators wisely, you can probably get some good value out of them. I'm a little bit worried about them because I think that they don't really work into anything that's toughness 9 or higher, or potentially has an invuln save, just because you can't get them within half range anymore, so you can't get the bonus melt damage. Most else, I guess I like. I just think that, like, if your only fire support unit is one single Ballistas Dreadnought, then that's probably not enough. Because, you know, like, for me, I'd probably rather drop the Eradicators and run 2 Ballistas Dreadnoughts. Just because I feel like, at least with 2 Ballistas Dreadnoughts, I have enough firepower to kill an enemy vehicle every turn. They do have 48-inch range. Henry says ditch Eradicators, pick up a Lancer. Yeah, I mean, if you've got a Lancer and a Ballistas Dreadnought, again, that's probably enough to pick up an enemy vehicle every turn. Hey guys, if you are enjoying tonight's stream, please hit the like button. I see we've got 46 people viewing and only 10 likes, so I'd appreciate it. Yeah, it just feels like that's not enough. And yeah, maybe Eradicators will work in some situations, but I think there's a lot of situations that they won't work in, and because of that, I'm not really willing to risk the Eradicators myself. Yeah, I mean, I need to give the Vanguard Veteran Squad another chance, like another 10-man. What if you dropped the Eradicators and picked up a Vindicator? I mean, they're the exact same points. Yeah, I way prefer the Vindicator tank. Capper Jack, I didn't realise you were in the chat. How you doing? Yeah, I think that's a way better option. I've been using the Vindicator tanks for weeks now, like 10 weeks in a row, and I've won 10. I've won the last 10 games I've played on stream. So I've won 10 games in a row running double Vindicator, Repulsor, Ballistus Dreadnought is the fire support on my list. Yeah, that was it. Double Vindicator, Ballistus Dreadnought, and a Repulsor. And the Repulsor in my list, I mean, it only has 2 las cannons on it. It's essentially there to be a toughness 12 vehicle I can park on the middle objective and just be durable. Eradicator is only effective in the Firestorm detachment for the strength 10. I think so, yeah. I really do think so. And it's annoying because I have 6 Eradicators. But yeah, I try to run them. I actually attached the Biologist to them to give them both lethal hits and and the bursting on 5s and 6s from Fire Discipline, and I still felt like they didn't do enough damage. The Ballistus is really good for the points. Yeah, I think the baked-in rerolls it gets is pretty nice, and I guess both its las cannons and its missiles are at good strength. I've been on winning most of my games too, but I've had a severe losing streak since the nerf to Oath. Yeah, I mean, the nerf to Oath is probably pretty rough. I mean, it makes me think that, like, it makes me think that you should be prioritizing, like, you know, for example, like that new Iron Storm detachment where you can get lethal hits on all your tanks. Stuff like that. Stuff that doesn't that basically removes the need to roll wound rolls. Now that the nerf to Oath hurts the Sons of Sanguinius detachment probably more than the other detachments. And that was already the detachment with the lowest win rate. So it's a tough one. All right. You got any other questions, Capper? You know, I think, like, I'm not a huge fan of putting shields on characters anymore if the character has to be attached to a 10-man squad. I suppose it protects them a little bit from sniper fire. But, like, if the opponent are sniping at your captain plus your vanguards plus the priest, they're going to snipe the priest first. They're not going to shoot the captain. So I would give the captain an infernal pistol. I know it's small, but I mean, it's potential to do 5 damage, I guess. I think that's more useful than 1 wound when the whole squad is already dead. Yeah. You know, I haven't really had the opportunity to play Centurions in the Sons of Sanguinius detachment. I guess the extra attack and the strength 11 on the fists must be pretty nice. Yeah, I think if you swap out the Eradicators, that's the one thing that I'm not liking. And I mean, I might be willing to I might be willing in this list to try and figure out a way to get some Inceptors in. I think a good test would be, like, I'm going to try Inceptors on my list this week. But, like, I think Inceptors are really good at pressuring, like with the Bolters, are really good at pressuring an opponent's, like, backfield. Any objective they're weak in, you can do a little bit of damage. Captains can't take Infernal Pistols anymore. How lame. How lame. Do you think we're going to get that back when Blood Angels get their standalone release? was going to say, that was never called out specifically in this detachment thing, was it? No. So hold on. Captains can't take infernal pistols. I bet the chaplain can still take it, right? Just because the chaplain model comes with infernal pistol. I actually genuinely like giving the chaplain the power fist. But can the chaplain with jump back? Yeah, he can take the infernal pistol. Of course he can. Man, this new codex is a mess. I think next time they try and do this, they need to release the Blood Angels. They need to give the Blood Angels an FAQ at the same time as the codex comes out. What the hell? Okay, so then the chaplain can take the infernal pistol, the captain can't. Because it's a Blood Angels model, but it is technically chapter agnostic. Anyone can use it. Alright, next list. Serenade has got a 2k Ironstorm detachment for us to look. And it looked a bit like the parking lot, which was the list that I was running where I had like 9 tanks. So we have Lieutenant with Combi Weapon, Master of the Machine. Cool, so our vehicles can like fall back and shoot. We have our Tech Marine with a target auguratory web, which gives like all our vehicles lethal hits. And then we have the Tech Marine with Adept of the Omnissiah. I was going to say I don't remember which that one does. So all of our vehicles within 6 of one Tech Marine have lethal hits. All of our vehicles, once per battle round, when a saving throw is failed within 6, you can change the damage characteristic to 0. That's kind of huge on vehicles as well. Like one time a las cannon finally gets through, hits your repulsor, just be like, yeah, it's 0 damage. And yeah, the Master of the Machine lets us fall back and shoot or advance and shoot on our vehicles. We get 3 Battle Predators. We've got 3 Death Company Dreadnoughts. We've got 3 Gladiators, 1 Lancer, 2 Reapers. We've got 2 Predator Annihilators, and we've got a Whirlwind. You know what? The thing that disappoints me in this list is we've got nothing that's toughness 12. Toughness Annihilators are T10. Reapers are T10. Death Company Dreadnoughts, I'm trying to think. I think they might be T9, actually. Death Company Dreadnought. I mean, they're going to be coming in from reserve and charging. Yeah, T9. So there's nothing T12. I think having stuff above T10 is actually kind of huge. I found like my Vindicators and my Repulsors have been so durable. Henry says I only run Ballistus, Librarian, Drop Pod, everything else infantry works. Where do we drop a list? You drop it in the comment section. It could be at the end of this stream, in the comments for this video, or it can be on pretty much any of my YouTube videos. I get like I get alerts for every single comment, so I just run through the recent comments each week and pick up the lists that people have submitted. Pandaman Pete has picked up an Executioner. He's excited to run that. Yeah, I think the Executioner would be good. In a list like this, vehicles with the most shot are going to get the most value, I feel like. And that's why I think the Repulsor Executioner is kind of huge. If you give the Repulsor Executioner lethal hits, I think it's kind of huge. Oh, I'm going to just drop everything on the floor. Give me 1 second here. Repulsor Executioner, because you get 2 heavy lasers, strength 16 minus 4, d6 plus 4. You then get the heavy onslaught, which is strength 6, 12 shots, strength 6, 1 devastating wounds. Then you get twin heavy bolter, then you get twin Icarus Irontail heavy stubber, and then you get repulsor defensive array, which is another 10 shots. So it can do 10 damage from the defensive array, It can do 12 damage from the onslaught cannon, so that's 22. The Iron Hail Stubber could do 6, that's 28. It can have a rocket pod.
Blood Buffalo donated $5 via Super Chat. Just left my list in a comment on the Iron Storm detachment video. Appreciate the advice whenever you get to the comment. I know you're busy.
Thank you so much, Blood Buffalo. This isn't your list, though. You just left it like a few minutes ago, did you? Or if I got it here, no. All right, hold on. So was it? Was it 28 plus the rocket pods is 34 plus the heavy stubber is 37 plus 2d6 plus 4 is 57. So this tank can do like 57 wounds in a turn. Yes, you're never going to do 57 wounds, but if you spike some 6s, it's pretty crazy actually. I like Repulsor Executioners a lot at 230 points, and I think they're probably even better in this detachment. But thanks so much for the $5. I do appreciate it. I'll have a look for your list in just a minute. Let me get through these next two. Would it be alright submitting an Ultramarines list for Rabouti Gilman? Lots of my armies are painted as Blood Angels. I mean, I ran Rabouti Gilman last edition quite a bit, so why don't you submit it? We can have a look at it. I would rather run a bunch of infantry than tanks, but toughness 12 is beefy. Toughness 12 is kind of broken, honestly. It's just they're just so strong. Repulsor Executioners are down to 220 now, are they? Did I miss that? They're down 10 more points. I thought they were good at 230, honestly. Yeah, so what? 3 Battle Predators. I mean, that's cool. 3 units with las cannons. The Annihilators, the Lancers. That's nice, I guess. The 3 Death Company Dreadnoughts can all go in reserve. I don't know if I think this is the best Iron Storm list. I think I'm probably going to make an Iron Storm list. I'm kind of tempted to run one this week, just because I think they're super overpowered. I was going to say I'll probably run it and end up losing. But, yeah, I think the Iron Storm is really, really strong. I think some of the best units of the Iron Storm probably are like the Redemptor Dreadnought, the Repulsor Executioner. I think the Annihilators are actually pretty good. I think the Ball Predators are probably pretty useful as well. I think an Astraeus is actually really good in this. Thoughts on Chain Fists? I'm not sold on Anti-Vehicle 3+. I mean, Chain Fists are fine in general. Anti-Vehicle 3-up is nice, but I guess having to give up an attack to get it is the problem. I suppose it depends on... If you're running Chain Fists, you're running Terminators. I suppose it depends if you attach the Terminators to a captain, right? Because if you attach them to a captain, then I guess... you're probably better just taking Power Fists and Red Rampaging every time, right? I don't know. I mean, Chain Fists used to be like minus 4 EP. The fact they're only minus 2 EP, like Power Fists, is a little bit annoying. Okay, Todd. We've got Todd's list next. I was wondering if you could drew my Iron Storm list. All right. Someone else is running Iron Storm list. He's calling this Dreadful Dreads. He's got a captain with the Relic Shield, the Thunderhammer, the Jump Pack, and the Master of the Machine. I think this is cool, because this lets your captain get all around the board. He's got the Lieutenant with the Flesh this week. I'm not sure you need a 4-up Feel No Pain on this, but I guess he's got it. He's got 1 Tech Marine with the Lethal Hits, and he's just got another Tech Marine because Assault Intercessors, Jump Pack, 2 Gladiator Lancers, 3 Redemptor Dreadnoughts. That's kind of what I wanted to try in that detachment, honestly. 3 Redemptor Dreadnoughts. I think it's pretty cool. Especially considering you can give them the Walker ability. Redemptor Dreadnoughts are not going to be good at killing vehicles, but they're going to be very good at killing elite infantry with that Plasma Cannon. The Plasma Cannon on the Redemptor Dreadnought is what, D6 plus 1, and it's Blast. So I guess like against elite infantry, you're probably getting somewhere like 4 or 5 shots. What are you? If you go high power, your strength 9 minus 4, 3 damage. Very good for killing elite infantry. You've also obviously got an onslaught cannon. Your fist on that is very good as well. Strength 12 -2. Again, it's 3 damage. There's also the Walker strat that can make these guys better. They're also -1 damage from Duty Eternal. 2 up save now, toughness 10. You've got Repulsor Executioner, you've got Squad of Scouts, you've got Double Whirlwind. I was going to say Double Whirlwind to me is like, meh. I'd probably just rather run another Executioner, but I guess if you want some indirect fire, there's some strength in indirect fire. I wonder if, like, I was going to say, I wonder if just having like a squad of Inceptors and like another Executioner and losing the Double Whirlwind is a better option. I was going to say Double Lancer and Executioner. I mean, I guess you're killing vehicles every turn, you're killing elite infantry every turn. You can jump around, all your vehicles can fall back and shoot. You've got lethal hits on a bunch of stuff. You can repair a bunch of vehicles. You got scouts to perform actions. You got the Calidus Assassin to perform actions. So I much prefer this one to the other one we just looked at for sure. I think we're going to jump in and get Blood Buffalo's list as well here, just to see another Iron Storm list. Whirlwind is for Mercy's weakness. Hey Todd, how you doing? What's Mercy's weakness again? Hold on, I'll find it. I was thinking of... I really wanted to play this detachment because I think it's crazy good. Mercy's weakness. Until end of the phase, each time a model in the unit makes an attack that targets unit below half strength, that unit has sustained hits 1 and critical hits on 5s. Yeah, so I guess once you start popping off a few units behind enemy lines or behind cover and stuff, you can suddenly start getting sustained hits and 5-ups for criticals. I mean, that's good on so many units as well, actually. Mercy's weakness. Anytime you make an attack against a unit that is below its starting strength, pairs really well with that Tech Marine with lethal hits, doesn't it? So on every 5-up, you would get both lethal hits and sustained hits 1. Yeah, I was going to say, so I'm going to a tournament on the 18th of next month. And I think my list needs to be in probably needs to be submitted by about the 10th or 11th. I haven't checked the exact date. But it means that I've basically got 2 more games to play before I get to go to the tournament. And I feel like if I had 5 games to play, I'd maybe play Ironstorm at the tournament because I think Ironstorm gives me a really good chance of winning. But I also feel like going to a tournament when I've only played 2 games with Ironstorm and arguably like my first game will be figuring stuff out. I feel like I'm better sticking with what I know, which is my Gladius list, because obviously I won like 10 games in a row with Gladius. I feel like the real power in Ironstorm Spearhead, right? The real power. I'll tell you the real power right now, and I'll be really surprised if they don't patch this, because honestly, it's broken as shit. Yeah, I mean, I would guess it's broken as shit, right? I was going to say, do they even have the Astraeus on here? No, do they not have the data sheets for the super heavies? Because we only got 2 super heavies now, right? Are they in here? I don't think they're there. I think they're here, right? The one that's going to do the most. This is pretty much why I would want to run it to the tournament, right? So look at the Astraeus. Toughness 12, 2 up save, 24 wounds. OC 8. Moves 10. In your shooting phase after this model is shot, select one enemy that was hit by one or more attacks made by its twin accelerator cannon until the start of your next turn. While this model is in the battlefield, that enemy unit is suppressed. While suppressed, that unit makes an attack, subtract 1 to the hit roll. So it's basically got suppression fire from the suppressors. What's actually got weapon-wise then? It's got 2 Las Rippers. They are basically, 4 Las Cannon shots. Strength 12 minus 3, d6 plus 1. Has a heavy stubber, whoop-de-doo. It has a storm bolter, whoop-de-doo. It has a twin heavy bolter, whoop-de-doo. And then it has twin macro accelerator cannons. So the twin macro accelerator cannon is strength 12, 3, 9 minus 1, 3. So this is killing a lot of elite infantry. It's sustained hits 1, it's twin linked. The interesting stratagem of this, honestly, though, is Power of the Machine Spirit. When your opponent's shooting phase, just after an enemy has resolved its attacks, target one vehicle from your army that was reduced to below half strength. So the second they drop this below half strength, you can shoot as if it were your shooting phase, but you must target the unit that shot you when doing so. You can only do this once per phase. You can only do this if the enemy is an eligible target. Sorry. So the enemy shoots you, drops you below 12 wounds. Hopefully you had a Tech Marine next by, which gave you +1 to hit. You can now shoot 4 Las Cannons, 12 sustained, strength 9 minus 1, 3. A heavy stubber, a heavy bolter. I think you can replace its heavy bolter with twin Las Cannons, actually. Yeah. Okay, so you could have basically 5 Las Cannons. And then the macro plasma and some other... Oh, you can have another heavy stubber. Okay, so you could have like 2 heavy stubbers, a storm bolter, twin Las Cannon, twin macro accelerator cannon, 4 Las Ripper shots. For 1 CP, you can fire all that. And if you have the Tech Marine that's made you hit on 2s, you're hitting on all that on 2s, right? Assuming the best thing to do would be to repair this thing back up above half health and leave it just above half. So the second the opponent shoots it again and drops it below half, you pay 1 CP and you just blow that unit off the board as well. I mean, like, 5... What can survive 5 Las Cannons hitting on 2s, 2 heavy stubbers, a storm bolter, and the macro plasma cannon? Like, what's surviving that? YouTube videos with Ironstorm in the title are worth a bunch of clicks. Do you know what? I made a video on Ironstorm on Friday, Steel, and nobody watched it. So I guess Blood Angels players don't give a shit about Ironstorm, but I give a shit about it. And yeah, I guess you would be able to... You would get your detachment ability at that point as well, right? So you would be able to reroll 1 hit, 1 wound, and 1 damage from all that stuff. And if you're near the Tech Marine, you have lethal hits and all that nonsense as well. But I think what I would do, if I was playing this, is I would just run this Stratus forward. As far forward as it goes, 10 inches. I think you can actually, move forward 10 inches in turn 1, move forward 10 inches in turn 2. If they manage to get it below half, I'll shoot back and kill the unit that shot me and got me below half. And then my main plan is to also try and I can auto-explode it for 1 CP. So if you know how big an Astraeus tank is, because it's friggin' massive, an Astraeus tank. Let me see if we can get it next, like a picture of it next to a Land Raider. There you go. So it's about the size of like 3 impulsors. So imagine 6 inches out. Imagine a 6-inch bubble around that. Everything around it, 6 inches. 3 to 9 mortal wounds for 1 CP. The power of the Machine Spirit is most probably going to get fixed because they made it that Titanic units cannot Overwatch. And this thing is Titanic. So arguably, Power of the Machine Spirit should not be able to be used on Titanic units. I just don't know if many people have figured that out yet. Because that's broken as crap on Titanic units. Like, your gladiator shoots at me. If you drop me below half wounds, I just instantly kill your gladiator, basically. And then if I can repair myself back above half and drop below half again, I can just kill something else. I think it's nuts. Anyway, I like this list more, Todd. I like the Triple Redemptor. I like the Executioner. I guess I like the idea and principle with the Whirlwind. I like the Scouts. They're pretty cheap. They're action monkeys. I like the Captain with the Master of the War Machine. If anyone doesn't know what Master of War Machine, it means that vehicles can fall back and shoot. Having that on a Jump Captain means he can just jump to wherever he needs to be to let any of your units fall back and shoot. Is it fall back and shoot or fall back and shoot and charge? No, it's not charge as well, but it is eligible to shoot. So anything that gets stuck in combat that you don't want it to be, jump your captain over, fall it back, shoot. I think it's great. I really want to try Triple Redemptor. I was going to say, I've dropped the Lancer from my list. I've been playing the Ballistus Dreadnought, which I think I prefer. I think I prefer the Ballistus Dreadnought. I think this would be cool if you could fit in Inceptors. You know, like if you dropped the if you dropped the Gladiator Lancer and replaced it with the Ballistus Dreadnought, that saves you 20 points. You lose the Calidus Assassin, that saves you 90 points. That's 110 points. That's literally the number of points for 110 points of Inceptors. That could be a good option. I think Inceptors are pretty strong this edition. I'm dropping something from my list this week, I think, to bring Inceptors. I'm probably, as much as I want to take the Iron Spear detachment to the tournament, I'm probably going to get beat by someone running Iron Spear because I think Iron Spear is awesome. But I think I'm going to keep playing Gladius just because it's like, I always say to people, like, if you're going to a tournament, play a list you're very familiar with, play what you're familiar with over what you think is the hot shit. Because playing what you're familiar with, when it comes to the crunch, you won't forget rules, etc., etc., etc. So I'll probably keep playing Gladius, even though this Iron Spear detachment looks super exciting. And I guess if you're willing to play an Astreus, that Power of the Machine Spirit rule is just so strong. If the opponent ever like dropped your Astreus to like 11 wounds, and you were able to kill what they shot you with, and then you were able to repair it up, and they get it below half again, and you do the same again, that's insanity. Yeah, I mean, I don't dislike Lancers. I really don't dislike Lancers. What I find, though, is the Ballistus has always performed pretty well. They have a 2-up save, which is slightly better than the Lancer. They have more attacks in melee, which is kind of more useful sometimes as Blood Angels. And then the other thing about the Ballistus is typically when you tank shock with the Ballistus Dreadnought, you get to roll 9 dice, because you're strength 7. So typically if you go into anything that's less than toughness 7, you get 9 dice in tank shock. So Ballistus Dreadnought are pretty good for just tank shocking. Statistically, 9 dice in tank shock is like 3 mortal wounds. So you would get 3 mortal wounds, and I believe the Ballistus Dreadnought has 5 attacks at strength 7. So typically, like the Gladiator is going to do nothing in combat, like nothing. Whereas the Ballistus Dreadnought can probably do 5 attacks, strength 7, no AP with 1 damage. But I feel like 5 attacks at strength 7 is enough to do it's enough to do 1 damage probably. So if you tank shock, you're probably able to do 4 damage in melee with the Ballistus Dreadnought. Not that it's a melee unit, but I think it just gives it some flexibility that the Gladiator Lancer doesn't have, right? Cool. All right, we got the last list of tonight. Then Buffalo. I was going to say call you Buffalo Bob. I don't know where that came from. Blood Buffalo. I posted a Firestorm list on your Firestorm Theorycraft video, Mullen. Cool. We'll get it next week, dude. But yeah, if anyone else wants to post lists, post them up, and we'll get them next week as well. Okay, Blood Buffalo. He's trying the Iron Storm detachment on the 5th in a 2v2 3,000 point game. Would appreciate strategy advice for this 1,500 point list. Important to know my partner is bringing a Baneblade, Shadow Sword, and Scions. Alright, we've got the Biologist Apothecary. We've got a Librarian with the Flesh is Weak for the Full Rat Feel No Pain, and we've got a Tech Marine with the Aura for lethal hits. Nice. I appreciate you taking 2 seconds to write the things out, even though I do have the codex here. It's appreciated. We've got the Inceptors. We've got too many units to begin with I. Intercessors. We've got Aggressors, just a 3-man squad. We've got a Death Company Dreadnought. We've got Death Company Intercessors. We've got a regular Firstborn Dreadnought with a combat weapon, Stormbolt, or an Assault Cannon. We've got a Land Raider with the Las Cannons and Twin Bolter. We've got Librarian Dreadnought, and we've got a Sternguard Veteran Squad. Interesting, actually. So the Apothecary can probably only go with the Aggressors, right? Like, that's the only attachment. The Librarian can be attached to... Yeah, maybe the Sternguard? And then the Tech Marine, obviously, lone operative. I like the Land Raider. I like Librarian Dreadnought. I'm not a big fan of this Firstborn Dreadnought. I guess he's letting you reroll 1s to hit for infantry. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think he's worth 135 points. Chronosay is going to make a Firestorm detachment this week. Cool. Yeah, please submit it. I'd like to see it. Ethan's posting Ultramarines list. Cool, we'll get you next week. You missed the Terminator Squad. Is there a Terminator Squad? Did it not copy the Terminator Squad? I was trying to copy it while I was live, dude. Sorry. There's a Terminator Squad? Where's that? I'm not seeing a Terminator Squad. Hey Rezil, good evening. How are you? 5 Terminators with chain fists. Okay. I don't know why it didn't copy them over. Weird. That makes a bit more sense, because I was thinking Librarian Dreadnought didn't have a lot of targets to teleport around. Yeah, the one the thing that jumps out to me is like this Dreadnought doesn't feel that useful. I would rather run 6 Aggressors. I don't know if you have the units to run 6 Aggressors. And I'm not a huge fan of Death Company Intercessors just because I don't think Chainswords are all that useful. If you've already got a squad of regular Intercessors and you've already got a squad of Sternguard, then I think you'd possibly be better removing your Death Company Intercessors. Yeah, these 2 units are the weakest. You know, the new Jump Intercessors potentially could be better. Obviously, Heavy Intercessors could be good as well. Audi has been delivering the Death Company Dreadnought plus Mephiston with 10 Assault Intercessors in a Storm Raven. Has that really been working for you, Audi? Does the Storm Raven not just get shot off the board the second it appears? Yeah, a Ball Predator could be better as well than those Death Company Intercessors in Dreadnought. And this is Iron Storm. I guess Iron Storm gives you a little bit more damage output when you're rolling stuff. But yeah, vehicles get the most benefit from this Tech Marine. Right. So what have you got that's actually getting much benefit from the Tech Marine? You've got the Land Raider. Yeah. I would definitely. Have you got a Ballistus Dreadnought, or have you got some other heavy firepower? Like, you want to be getting multiple units to get a bonus from this aura, and at the moment it feels like you've got one in your Land Raider. Not that having your Land Raider is bad, but try and get something else that can get the bonus from this aura, because this aura is the best thing in this detachment. If I'm running this detachment, I'm gonna have 3 or 4 units around this Tech Marine getting the lethal hits. I'm probably gonna have like a repulsor, maybe a couple of dreadnoughts and a gladiator, or a gladiator or something, like, or a predator annihilator or something. Like, I'm gonna have multiple units that are within that 6-inch aura. I think that's the best thing about it. Unfortunately, that's the only dreadnought you own. Oh well. I guess what you need to do next is get yourself some of that dreadnought's honestly not long for this world, so you need to get some of those new Redemptor chassis dreadnoughts. People were saying that the Ballistus, I don't know, because I already got a couple of Ballistus dreadnoughts, but I swear eBay is a great place to check things. Ballistus dreadnoughts. So, like, these dreadnoughts came with that with the Leviathan box set. I was going to say Ending Soonest or Ending Soonest. Looks like you can almost get these dreadnoughts for like $25. You got any like buy it now? How do you do that again? Oh yeah, buy it now. Huh, I would have thought that there would have been some of these made cheaper on buy it now. $32.99 plus $5.50. So you can buy it now for $35 on eBay. Brand new. So that'll be the one right out of the Leviathan box. What is it on eBay? Sorry, what is it on 45. So you can save yourself $10. Oh no, that's the Redemptor. Do they not have the Dreadnought here? I'm surprised they're still selling this, honestly. Do they not have it yet? Why are they still selling why are they selling Leviathan Dreadnoughts even, and Contemptor Dreadnoughts? All this stuff went to Legends. Well, it doesn't look like you can buy it, but yeah, I mean, I guess if you don't have a Ballistus Dreadnought, here you go, $35 on eBay, buy it now. I would do that. It looks like it'd be like $10 cheaper. I mean, you're not going to get the box, but who cares about the box, right? The box goes right into the bin, right? At least when I don't really keep those boxes. I got some behind me on the wall just for my display or for the back of my YouTube videos, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, when they release those box sets like Leviathan or whatnot, and they come with like the standalone dreadnoughts like this, there's always like an opportunity to get them really cheap. I guess this Ballistus Dreadnought, the Ballistus has been balanced really. It's been really good. Whereas I bet you, like, if you go for like some of the other things that maybe weren't so popular, like Infernus squads, yeah, like look at this. You get like an Infernus squad. How many guys is this? Is this the whole 10 or is this 5? 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay, 5 for £16. I feel like that's maybe not that cheap either, but we can check. Oh, they don't sell them on their own either. Oh. Okay, so some of this stuff isn't even released on its own yet. But yeah, I feel like you know, if you didn't own Infernus Marines, 5 of them for like £15 is pretty cheap. That's £3 a Marine. I know for those new jump guys, they were £35 for 7, so they're like £7 a Marine. But yeah. I think the strongest units for, let me bring up the points cost real quick. But honestly, the amount of times I've had good deals on eBay for stuff that's just like on the sprues. Basically, it's not in the box. That's only a disadvantage. The strongest stuff, I think, is going to be Land Raiders, the Repulsor Executioner. It is down to 220 points. I think that's really good at 220, actually. I like the Gladiator. I like the Ballistus Dreadnought. I like the Redemptor Dreadnought. I'm trying to think if I like any of the Storm Speeder variants. Maybe I like the Thunderstrike. Do you know what? The Thunderstrike I thought might be more popular than it's ended up being. Or sorry, it's been less popular than I thought it might end up being. I'm surprised that not many people run the you want to kit bash a Redemptor chassis or Redemptor Dreadnought into Librarian. I mean, maybe that'll come one day, but that's a cool idea for sure. Why is the Thunderstrike not being popular? Is it just because they didn't give it enough toughness? I believe it's toughness 9, right? Toughness 9, 11 wounds, 14-inch move. Each time this vehicle is shot, select one enemy monster or vehicle hit by one or more of those attacks until the end of the phase. Each time a friendly Adeptus Start unit makes an attack against that unit, add 1 to the wound roll. So with the removal of Oath of Moment, I really thought people would use the Thunderstrike to give +1 to wound to other vehicles shooting. And I think that's good in both Gladius and the Iron Storm detachment. Like, plus, like, you know, if I was running that Strayus with that 12-shot Strength 9 cannon, well, yeah, I mean, I guess getting +1 to wound on that Strength 9 cannon, sustained hits, hitting on 2s likely, lethal hits potentially. Yeah, it would be sustained and lethal. +1 to wound. Yeah, I think the Thunderstrike's still really good. We just don't see it. It's got a 36-inch missile. So 2 36-inch missiles, D6 +1. It's got one 48-inch missile, D6 +1. It's got rocket pods, 24 inches. Strength 8 -1, 2 damage. I have a Thunderstrike. I ran it a little bit at the start. Maybe, I was going to say, I only got 1 or 2 more weeks to get my list together. Maybe I need to get the Thunderstrike. I'm trying to think why I dropped it. I maybe felt like I didn't need it because of Oath of Moment. But I guess with Oath of Moment loses the wound rolls, maybe it's worth giving the Thunderstrike one more run out this week. Yeah, my list this week's going to be something different. But it's going to be Gladius, and it's going to try and be my final iteration of my tournament list. Well, I think that's the end of the show tonight, guys. Thank you so much for the lists. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate it. If no one's got any questions, I don't like how it's a buff speeder, but it costs more than it's probably going to buff. Does it cost more than it's going to buff? +1 to wound for your entire army at 48 inches away? I mean, You know, like if you're using those repulsor executioners with their strength 16 cannon, it basically means that those strength 16 cannons like can hit on 2s and wound on 2s. They're -4, they're d6 plus 4. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny that, because I've been looking at Blood Angels tournament lists and I haven't really seen anyone running the Thunderstrike. But when I ran it, I did like it. I did really like it. The Lieutenant is awesome for blowing things off the center board. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you've got the points to get the Lieutenant into the center board, that is good as well. Yeah, 100%. All right, I'm trying to think what's coming up on the channel this week. Wednesday night, we've got a live game against Miles. I guess Friday we'll probably cover another detachment, talk about things. Maybe we'll cover some more army lists. And I was going to say, I don't think I have a free evening this week for hobbying, unfortunately. So the next hobby hangout probably going to be next Saturday. One of the downsides for the Firestorm list is trying to decide what to choose as my Oath of Moment target, since most of my list doesn't benefit that much from hit rerolls of Oath. That's true. I suppose if I was going to say, if you got anything that's got lethal hits, that would. If you got a unit that's got lethal hits, Chrono's saying that would get the best benefit. But if you don't have something that's getting lethal hits, then I don't know what your benefit is. Cool. All right. Enjoy your weekend, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. Leave a like. I'm sure I'll catch you guys sometime this week. Yeah, and hopefully I can figure out in the next 2 weeks what my list is going to be to take to this event to actually challenge. But I think I'm gonna stay with Gladius. I do think that Iron Storm attachment is possibly the strongest in the book, though. If you've got any lists for other detachments, or you get any quirky rules for the other detachments that I haven't covered yet, please send them to me, and we'll get them covered, and we'll talk about it. Yeah. All right. Enjoy your evening, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.